This is gorgeous. This is so pretty. And you can tell they put a lot of work into this. The Margo is beautiful. This has to be one of KBDFans' prettiest keyboards. Shell gas station. Yeah, I can see that a little bit. But this definitely has to be one of their prettiest keyboards. Straight up. Hands down, I don't think they've made a better looking keyboard. The price point on this is also not terrible at $245. You can get either in aluminum, FR4, or polycarbonate. It comes in a whole bunch of different colors with really cool finishes. It has really nice side bezels, everything like that. Includes PCB, case, plate, weight bar, mute silicone, bottom foam, screwdriver, rubber feet. So everything you guys see here today, which is good. This is the part I didn't quite understand about this board. They have a pre-order for some colors, or I guess maybe just the polycarbonate. So I'm not too sure if they're gonna be rolling stock of this board because it's pretty much like it only launched today and there's only like 40 units total. I don't know if it's already sold through but there's not a whole hell of a lot of these, which is a bit unfortunate. So I hope this is a rolling stock product or they just plan to do a second batch. $245 to $255 seems to be the price point for this. And here's the board from the top. So some things immediately, even just from visual presentation of the top of the keyboard here, thin side bezels. I eat this stuff up. This is like my favorite design of a board. I think it makes it look super elegant. Love, love, love that with the thicker forehead and thicker chin over there. I think that's beautiful. Stepped internals, which I think we saw on the Pavlov as well, with this little bit of a weight bar on the inside as well. Beautiful internals here. I'm hoping this helps deflect a lot of the sound in good ways, but gorgeous, right? And then this is where this board really shines. We'll take a look at the side profile. Look at that. This is the mocha color. Look at this. This is gorgeous. Definitely one of the prettier boards that I've seen from them. Visible hardware. I don't know if you guys can really tell, but like this has shape to it. This is not just like some random badge they kind of just threw on. Like you can see the way it deflects the light here, or refracts the light rather. It looks great. It has a decent weight to it as well. You know, you have this little bit of a taper here happening on the back, which makes it look good. And then same thing with the side over here. It got that premium kind of side. 18.5 front height. So from a spec perspective here, gorgeous. Like this is one of my favorite offerings to date visually. So I don't know about the sound because we haven't actually looked at it yet. So absolutely awesome. Who is Margo? I don't really understand the namesake of this board, so don't hate me on that. There is some gorgeous, gorgeous colors. I would love to see what the polycarbonate looks like in person, but there's E-white with like a blue-black kind of finish for this. Burgundy. Burgundy's not my favorite, not gonna lie. The mocha, which is what I have. Even the anodized black, like that looks super slick. Silver's okay. Dark purple is gorgeous as well, and the anodized gray has to be my second favorite. The linen's really pretty too. More screws, standoffs, which I'm not going to use. Yeah, it uses the V3 KBD67 PCB, which I'm not mad about. My big thing for KBDFans is giving us an option for solderable units. I know they're not popular anymore. I hope they come back because I think they're awesome. But there's just not a lot of layout options for this, and I kind of do wish they just opened up the PCB a little bit. Like, just offer a 7U spacebar, offer something. KBDFans has been killing it with some of the board designs, like even just picking up great designers like the Pavlov and everything, but they've been really, really dropping the ball on PCBs. It's just the one thing I kind of dislike about them. We have some plate options, we have silicone. I am probably not going to touch the silicone unless you have to use it. I don't think that's the case. And then we have our plate, we have bottom foam over here, and then we have some other plates. We'll see if we have to use the silicone. We'll quickly peruse through this. It does look like they're making you almost forced to use it here. Pretty silly move to force to use plate silicone here. Because you can see where they have the mounting tabs, which is silly, and they could have just avoided this by using gaskets. I might not even use this. I might just go dive deep into my closet to see if I can find some spare gaskets and just say screw it, because I really don't want to use this. If this is how they're selling this, this is silly. They take this beautiful, beautiful looking case, absolutely stunning, and then you're just forced to use silicone. I say we use the aluminum for this. I understand there's still some customizability with this, but you're really limiting people from, you know, what they can and cannot do. Do I need... Because this is, again, such a pretty case design. I've been so excited for this particular case for some time now. Silicone will be between, so that would really mute the sound of the keyboard. Did the KBD67 light force you to use silicone. It's been a long time since I built one of those. Light forced you to use it? Oh, shoot. This step design really helps reflect sound very nicely. But yeah, you can see that it might not actually work with the plate. Let's see. You can see where this slots in. Or, hold on a second, guys. Maybe we can get away with not using silicone. So this slots in. There's still plate tabs. Ooh. I think we can get away with this. Worst case scenario, we just salvage this with the silicone, but I don't think we need to. I think we can get this to work with some sort of gaskets. What are these switches? Polar Pandas. What films do I use? I exclusively try to just use Desky films. Today was a different film, but it was the same material as Desky. But the Desky films I find are the most forgiving films out of all the films I've tried. Now comes the difficult part in trying to figure out how we can do the workaround for getting this mounted. First, I kind of want to see how this needs to sit. Okay, so it does need to be raised. You can see the USB-C is kind of fallen down a little bit here, so we do need to raise this up. So we do need some gaskets on the bottom of this plate. This might be perfect. Now, I'm not putting top ones on just yet. I think these need to be a smidge thicker, guys, on the bottom. So you can see they're not quite sitting nice. Double up on the bottom. Yeah, I think we do 2 layers on the bottom here. Looks like you use 1.5 or 2 mil gaskets. If this doesn't work, it doesn't work. Let's just see if that's enough clearance now for this. Lines up perfectly with the two gaskets on it. It's gonna bounce around a little bit inside the case, so we need some way to support this too. I am actually gonna put the gasket underneath the space bars too, just so we don't have things bouncing up and down. But let's just put the rest of the gaskets on. Let's double up everything. Let's screw it in and let's see how it is with just the gaskets on the bottom, because that's still a possibility to do. We don't need to put the gaskets on the top unless we hear some sort of top out sound, which we're gonna test for right now. What's the weight made of? Heat coloring of brass is achieved by heating the surface of the brass, causing it to undergo chemical reaction. Yes, it is indeed brass. I don't know how this is gonna sound. Could sound awful. Maybe we should have went with polycarbonate, but we'll see. It's a little dead sounding, huh? It's still rattling a bit, and I think I know why. I don't know if you guys wanna see a modding stream, but it helped like 20%. Force brake maybe? Try top gaskets. I'm also gonna put in a thin top gasket on this too. I have these. Let's experiment first with a thicker piece of foam for these. And then we'll also force break it because I feel like it being not force broken is probably not doing it any favors. I just put a piece of thicker plastic, like with an adhesive, so a foot basically from another board. It's gotten there. It's not 100% yet though. It could be the switches. We could swap out 2 switches to see what they sound like. Maybe this is just a switch diff. Maybe we just need something long pull in this. Yeah, so the lighter switches, which these are a bit lighter. But dude, this is long pull and this does not sound like long pull. The mods sound great now. I'm gonna swap out the switches with Obscuras because I already have Obscuras modded. But I'm just gonna do it to the alphas. Stylistically stunning, but why they didn't put more thought and effort into the mounting is mind-blowing. Agree, 1000%. I could have had a home run, but they skimped out, and at the end of the day, it hurt the board's audience. That is a spot-on description of kind of our summary of the board today. Maybe wrong switches for this, unfortunately. I don't think this is much of a stretch. Having KBDFans just include some gaskets that work on this. If we got this working today with random gaskets, almost there. I'm not 100% happy with it yet. Maybe it was intentional so the modding aspect of the hobby is brought back. Hey, you know what? I'm loving the way you're thinking, Loom. I am gonna remove the gaskets sitting underneath this space bar entirely. So this is our last hurrah with this. Spacebar's still a bit flat here. It's still stiff feeling too, which is unfortunate. It sounds a lot better from when we started though. It's still not 100% of the way there for me. I'm gonna try one more different spacebar here. Maybe we go just back to the Obscura. Or we go with an HMX switch. We can do 2 more spacebars here. It's a beautiful looking keyboard, but Obscura is definitely better. Let's try an HMX switch. We can try the EVA switch. It definitely has a bit more of a sound profile now. The board's okay now. It's nothing spectacular sound-wise. I'm not the biggest fan of this. I feel like they need to rethink their strategy going forward with this board and future projects. It's lacking in a few departments. It's lacking in... Oh, the curry switch sounds great on this. Oh, that just brought the board to life again. Oh, that's usable to me now. I really like this now with the curry switch. It's still sharp. Okay, so that sounds really good with the curry switch. However, it doesn't really take away from the fact that we just saw Captain Sterling and someone said clackbait as well. They had utilized the silicone piece, which I'm kind of glad we didn't go this route. I really am glad. I feel like this is the worst route possible. But I do urge them to go back to the drawing board and not include something like this, not force people to use the silicone. Obviously, it's possible that we could have just used gaskets, and if they would have just included some sort of gasket mounting system or altered the plate in some sort of way that it allowed some sort of gasket to slot in there, is they could have made a silicone sleeve that could have just fit over the two gaskets and pushed on and been the gasket for this particular board. I feel like there's tons of ways they could have gone about alternative measures to this piece of silicone. It's a beautiful keyboard. It's, like I said, my favorite keyboard that has come out visually from KBDFans. This is gorgeous. This is so pretty. And you can tell they put a lot of work into this, and I really, really like it. All that effort on the exterior was not translated into the interior. And it's unfortunate. It's really unfortunate that that wasn't translated into making the mounting system just not a piece of silicone that fit in between the plate and PCB. And if you're willing to put the extra steps in, if they don't end up including something like all the gaskets that we did today, and I mean, you can probably get a decent sounding board out of this. This doesn't sound bad to me at all now. In fact, I kind of like it with all the stuff that we did. Is it worth your time doing that? Maybe there's tons of other boards, and there is tons of other boards that you don't need to do all this extra steps. If you wanted a project because you liked the way this looked, sure. On another note, someone I just mentioned this too, and I was going to mention that as well. The PCB, KBDFans has this habit of sticking PCBs that just have one fixed layout. I think they need to kind of go back to the drawing board there too and just make a PCB with some different mounting options. I don't think it's that hard to do. Again, I know they're running off a PCB that's been in circulation and they've had for quite some time. It's a gorgeous board. It really is. I really like the way this board looks. It is so, so pretty, but it's not quite there in being like the best board it could be. If the price point was very different, then sure, buy a board and mod it. I mean, that's true too, Burnsy. You know, when you're looking at a board that's $250+ and you have to kind of sit there and do your own mods to it, it might be a turnoff for a lot of people, and it probably is a turnoff for a lot of people. I mean, we got it sounding good though. I'm very happy with the current sound signature. See you guys later. Thanks for tuning in today. Love you guys. Bye-bye.